eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Ready to do this thing on a Monday afternoon or what? Boy, a little wintry mix out there. And a little wintry mix for like the next week or 10 days. I don't think we see the 70s for like, I don't know, the foreseeable future. You see any 70s out there on weather.com, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X? Check out that 10-day forecast for us. It's so weird. I gave Mario Brothers a choice. He could be Bob Breck or Margaret Orr, and he chose to be Margaret Orr. A little shout out to Margaret Orr. The 10-day forecast for New Orleans. Mario Brothers, I think it's all like 40s and 50s, mostly 50s. But I don't, and some 60s, but I don't think we get anywhere near the 70s, do we?
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing any 70s, at least not yet. Yeah, no.
I don't see any
not even
70s.
Not even 60s, dude.
Well, some low 60s, it looks like. But you're right. Nothing like mid 60s for the next week to 10 days. I mean, the highest temperature I see, maybe like a week and a half from now, like a week from this Wednesday, maybe like a 65 or something. But yeah, the high for the next few days, 61, 59, 61, 62, 56, 60, 62, 59. The low, 42, 40, 55, 52, 52, 50. Lots of 50s over the next week to 10 days in New Orleans. A little wintry mix. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, now in his full-blown Margaret Orr outfit. What's up, Margaret?
Love it. I want to be outside. I like the cold weather.
No, yeah, I don't mind it either. But this is sort of a dank, sort of depressing day. Cloudy, overcast. I'm not a big fan of this kind of day. I don't mind the cold weather, like snappy, but I prefer like blue sky and sunny.
Yeah, I think that's coming though.
It's kind of humid, windy. You know, whatever the temperature is, you can knock another like 10 degrees colder feel because it's just humid, it's windy, it's overcast, kind of dark and dank.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Dank.
And by the way, in about an hour, the sun drops out the sky. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx.
Yeah, that'll make it a little worse.
Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx. Your parents should have come up with a shorter name for you. But anyway, what did you think? You're an LSU graduate. You're a sports freak. Your alma mater gets Lane Kiffin, $13 million a year. It's a 7-year, $91 million deal.
Man, I'm glad it's over, first of all. I was over kind of the idolatry of it all. I told you that before the show, and Lane constantly being the news cycle. But I think it's a good hire, you know. Lane still has plenty to prove. I don't think it's an end-all, be-all, you know, solution for LSU.
He's a nomad.
Yeah, he has been, but he's a really good offensive coach, like one of the better play callers in the sport. he's really, I think, with the times in modern day college football when it comes to navigating the transfer portal and
Agreed.
and NIL and all that stuff.
He's kind of a sweet spot in age, 50, like young enough to be like a 30-year-old coach, old enough to be experienced and savvy, old school. But anyway,
Exactly. And unlike really the last like 3 or 4 coaches, he's going to actually be calling the plays. Like that part of it's exciting, but it also makes it more important for him to hire a good staff around him, especially you know, in the first year. I see reports he's trying to keep Blake Baker. He'll probably bring Charlie Weiss Jr., his current OC at Ole Miss, over with in Baton Rouge. So,
yeah, suppose he was on the plane. They had a couple of private planes.
yeah, so that looks like good staff on paper, but he's proven to be a really good play caller, recruiter, and all that stuff. But he's gonna have to prove that he could delegate, he could be that CEO, he could do the things that he's gonna have to do to succeed at LSU. So it's a fine hire, but I'm not like, you know, screaming that LSU is gonna have a dynasty, like gloating. You know, yeah, I think it's a good hire. It's not a end all be all solution for LSU.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you just look at just the general kind of, you know, broad-based macro view of this thing, look what Lane Kiffin has done at Ole Miss. So you're like taking off the restrictor plate in the NASCAR. You know, you're opening it up. It's got dual exhausts now, not single exhaust. You know, I don't know how else to say. You got a V8 motor in there, not a V6. The car's got bigger tires. It tighter suspension. It handles better. I don't know what to tell you. I just think it's to win a national title, the resources, access to the best players, all of it. It is up a level or two. And I'm not knocking Ole Miss. What he's done at Ole Miss is phenomenal. He has made Ole Miss a national power. You know, if Tulane's a top 25 team, Ole Miss has become a top 10 team because of Lane Kiffin. So at LSU, you would imagine LSU is going to be a top 5, top 8 program at worst every single year under Lane Kiffin. 10 wins kind of minimum every year under Lane Kiffin. Anything else is going to be like disappointment, is going to be not having success.
Yeah, that's a fair expectation. But at the same time, you know, if it's like 9-3, 8-4 to start, you might want to like give him a little bit of time. Like you got to have high expectations, but also realistic. Like
I don't know with the transfer portal and how he's a specialist at Ole Miss with that.
for sure.
Like at Ole Miss, it's recruit almost to supplement and transfer portal to build your team around. At LSU, it's going to be recruit to build your team around and transfer portal to supplement. So he should be able to be pretty effective pretty quickly, I would think.
He should.
Anything less than like 9 wins
Yes.
for the second highest paid coach in the land. You know, this is like a modern day Nick Saban is how LSU's approaching it.
That's what I'm saying.
You better win 9 next year.
That's dangerous thinking, man. Like he's done a fine job at Ole Miss. Like I said, it's a really good hire, but he still has not like won anything. He still has plenty to prove, I think.
Oh no, I agree.
So we'll see. And the SEC is just so much better. Like it's a different landscape than it's been in the past when you had Nick Saban, then you had like LSU or maybe 1 or 2 other teams a step below, and then you had everybody else. Like it top to bottom, it's a lot stronger. A&M's a playoff team.
Vandy's good.
Vanderbilt is good. Oklahoma and Texas are in the league now, and they're both like playoff
really
teams,
good, yeah.
like kind of year in and year out.
Yep.
So yeah, it looks like a really good fit, but I think LSU fans need to be careful, like talking about multiple championships and 11 wins every year. Like
No. It's a lot more competitive.
yeah,
It's not like the olden days. Hey, speaking of the SEC and coaches, Mario Brothers, Tulane loses Jon Sumrall to the Florida Gators. He's beelining down I-10 a few hours east to Gainesville. I believe Sumrall held a early AM practice, met with the team, and got on a plane and is in Gainesville as we speak right now. But he'll be back tonight in Uptown and coaching the Wave on Friday night. That's a big blow for the Green Wave, and I think a great hire by the Florida Gators.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, I think everybody kind of expected it, including Jon Sumrall and his team. That's a way different situation than Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. I think this is way healthier. Like they're going to be a very together team going into the conference championship and hopefully the playoff. And I think everybody in that locker room is happy for Coach Sumrall. And much like Willie Fritz before him, he's leaving Tulane a better place than when he got there. So not the worst situation for the Green Wave.
And now even more so than Willie Fritz, it's like a coveted spot in the lesser, the non-power 4 schools. Like any small school up-and-coming coach, like a Jon Sumrall, like Willie Fritz coming from where? Northern Iowa, wherever he came from. Any up-and-coming younger coach, and Willie Fritz wasn't so young, they're going to look at Tulane. They're going to be contacting Tulane. Tulane can put out a search committee. I think they have that. They're going to put together a bunch of potential coaches to replace Jon Sumrall, but there will be coaches calling Tulane.
100%. And while the transfer portal could be a detriment to Tulane at times when their players are really good, it also kind of helps them in the current day of college football. You can build rosters year in, year out.
The transfer portal's the new rules. Change, adapt, and win with it, or flounder and make excuses.
And Tulane's a lot more attractive, to the point you were making a second ago, like compared to 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. Getting to live in New Orleans, like getting to be uptown, like it's a good place to be, regardless of who the coach is.
766-9480 is how you dial us up. Love to hear from you, New Orleans, on this Monday afternoon, post-Thanksgiving. Hope you had a good turkey day. Everybody's bloated and fat and chunky and overweight and puffy. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X at the controls. 766-9480. LSU fans, are you happy with the Lane Kiffin hire? 766-9480. Green Wave fans, are you upset that Jon Sumrall is heading to Florida? 766-9480. Is there a coach that you'd like to see replace Jon Sumrall in uptown New Orleans? Mario Brothers, were you shocked to see Marshall Faulk become the Southern coach? That just came out of left field, huh?
No, I mean, yeah, him specifically.
Where was he coaching before?
I think he was an assistant for somebody pretty prominent. We can look it up.
Find that out, Mario.
But I'm not super surprised. You see that a lot with like some of these SWAC HBCU schools. Like you'll have all time like great players that are interested in coaching.
Yep.
Deion Sanders.
Oh no, totally. With not a lot of experience.
Yeah, Eddie George, others.
Yeah, they're either going to be a natural coach or they're not.
Yeah.
And you're just rolling the dice, and it's almost like, so what? We're a minor college team, and we roll the dice a lot. Half of our teams don't have kickers on the roster.
Yeah, exactly. But it's worth it. He was a running backs coach for Colorado for Deion.
Oh, nice for Deion. Nice.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
cool. No, he's getting some experience.
Exactly.
There.
So it's worth it for them to dip
roll the dice.
Exactly. And it's worth it for the schools as well.
Yep.
So
it's holiday season, New Orleans. Get her or him a great pair of sunglasses. The place to get those sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine. Some of the finest eyewear in America, designer driven. Here's the best part. Name brands you've never heard of. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Sunglasses for that holiday gift. Art and Eyes on Magazine.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
I'm also very grateful for Tulane for allowing me to finish the job. The job's not done, and I got work to do. So today's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. It's been a little bit dizzying at times, but I got to go back tonight because we're in pursuit of doing something special as a team. I'd like to thank Tulane and Scott and Florida for allowing me to go back with my guys and finish that job.
That's Tulane head football coach Jon Sumrall, who has a dual role. He is the Florida Gators head football coach right now. He's one of the very few coaches in college that's coaching two teams at once. Literally in Gainesville as we speak and flying back to New Orleans at any moment now, getting ready for Friday night's home game at Yeoman for the American Athletic Championship, and more important than that, a playoff berth in the 12-team playoff. What up, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx? You find all this very interesting. Is it dizzying for you as well?
I mean, that's just modern-day college football.
It is, until they change the rules and mimic the NFL.
Yeah, but like I said, the Lane Kiffin thing is really depressing. I think there's a conversation to be had for sure, whether or not he should be allowed to stay and coach Ole Miss through the playoffs. But with Sumrall, like I said, it's really different. I think everybody knew this was a possibility, probably a likely possibility.
What's the depressing part about Lane Kiffin that you feel he should be able to coach Ole Miss?
No, I don't think that. I honestly think Ole Miss is doing the right thing, but I see why people would want, for them to finish what they started. If he wants to be there, the players want to be there. I see.
Yeah, do the players want him to be there or not?
Exactly, but I see the argument there. But here,
Tulane, I think, is just a different deal. Summerall's not catching any heat, and Lane Kiffin's catching a lot.
Exactly.
I mean, I see a story on ESPN. ESPN of all places, like Lane Kiffin should at least be honest about, why he's going to LSU. The thing about God and the prayer thing.
Yeah.
I mean, normally that's embraced.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot, I think, like I said. But Sumrall, Tulane, they're together. Like, I don't think it's going to be a distraction. I think they could be very motivated. I wouldn't be surprised if they, were competitive, maybe messed around and even pulled an upset in the first round. Like, that's just it's still weird. Like you said, he's the coach of Florida, but still coaching Tulane. But it's just a much healthier situation.
Yeah, introduced as the Florida head coach a little while ago in Gainesville, and will be flying back to New Orleans, getting ready for a big one this Friday night, the American Athletic Championship game in Uptown New Orleans, Yeoman Stadium, right off Claiborne's, behind the new bubble. Which, I don't know, Jon Sumrall may never actually use the bubble and his team practice in that bubble. May never happen. That's a whole other topic. It's number 20, North Texas. They're 11-1. What are they, the Mean Green or something like that?
The Mean Green. I'll never forget, first college football game I ever called, LSU North Texas 2012. So, yeah, Mean Green.
20th ranked North Texas, 11-1. 21st ranked Tulane, 10-2. 7 o'clock Friday night, live from Yeoman Stadium in Uptown on ABC, a nationwide television audience. All I can say, Mario Brothers, if they're not 30,000 packed into Yeoman, not only a sellout on paper, but a sellout fans in the stands, there's a problem. Seriously. The Pelicans aren't any good. The Saints aren't any good. LSU's not any good. Tulane's a win away from the playoffs. The New Orleans college football team.
And most everybody's high school team that follows that stuff is eliminated at this stage in the semifinals.
You want to know what's embarrassing? When like Jesuit Holy Cross outdraws the Tulane game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When like Rummel St. Aug outdraws the Tulane game. Something wrong with New Orleans.
Exactly.
Seriously.
No.
Something wrong with New Orleans.
But either way, like a lot of those schools are out anyway. So even those people can still go to the Tulane game.
It's like LSU with baseball and men's basketball. The apathy towards men's basketball and just this embrace of LSU men's baseball. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Got news for you LSU fans. Baseball at LSU might be the fourth sport. It's clearly three. It's behind men's basketball. It loses money every year. And men's basketball makes money every year, even when they suck. Even when men's basketball, like right now, they suck. Well, they're actually undefeated, but they normally suck.
Yeah.
They make money every year without a doubt. LSU baseball every year without a doubt loses money. So does, Mulkey's national championship basketball team. But at LSU, men's baseball is like more important to a lot of fans than men's basketball, which is mind-blowing to me.
I think I'm really warming up on the idea of Verge at AD. I think it's much needed to get a player's kind of point of view right now. Like they strayed far away from that with Woodward, which worked at times, but at other times didn't. But going back to like the Skip Bertman mold of like a player coach, somebody who's been there, I think that'll be really, really beneficial.
It's a different athletic director, that's for sure. Like Scott Woodward, when he was hired, was the autonomous athletic director. Like, do what you want. You're in control of the money, hiring, firing. Verge Osbury, I'm not saying is a shell of an athletic director, but he's not going to be making these, decisions with autonomy like Scott Woodward was. There's no way. It's not happening, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's fair.
That may not happen again at LSU for a while.
Either way, men's basketball is in a bad place. Hopefully they can improve there.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Mario Brothers, I LSU, like, it's my alma mater, but LSU's like its own worst enemy. Louisiana politics, their biggest toy is LSU. So Jeff Landry's intervention, Scott Woodward getting ousted the way he was ousted, Verge Osbury getting promoted the way he was promoted, no national search for an AD, honestly, like LSU deserves to fall on their face. Like they're making a bunch of shoot from the hip, wild, decisions.
Yeah.
They almost deserve to fall on their face. They're getting very political. They're very inside-ish. They're not looking nationally. We have all the, people here. Yeah, I remember when Doug Morrow wanted to be AD. Today, he'd be AD. In the olden days, he'd be AD. But the landscape had changed right when he had the inclination to wanting to be AD. And you needed someone that could handle business and raise money and handle the programs. It wasn't just a, run by committee and people underneath you, and the guy can just be some token, figurehead.
Yeah.
You actually had a job to do. So I don't know if LSU is going backwards, but one thing I do know, it is hyper political at LSU. And a lot of the time, I would say most of the time, that's going to backfire on you than give you success.
Exactly. Maybe I'm taking a very simplistic view, but I think like the business stuff and the finances, that's all going to be okay no matter what. Like they're caring way too much about like image and being corporate and hiring the people with the best resume instead of actually winning the games. That's
No, that's a good point.
That's where I think
I can't argue with you there. And that's where the player thing might be a benefit.
Yeah, that's where I think he could hopefully help. Like football is going to be, the craziness of football is going to be what it is, but for men's basketball specifically, I think can really benefit from that.
Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning. Tired of your dry cleaner? It's holiday season. Young's Dry Cleaning will take care of that suit, the blouse, all the stuff you need. Looking perfectly great for holiday season. And Young's Restoration Department, you got family and friends coming over. Get those drapes taken care of. Yeah, Young's will come out to your house, take your drapes down, bring them to their restoration facility, clean them, bring them back to your house, rehang them. All you pay for is the cleaning, the restoration, taking them down, putting them back up, free pickup and delivery, all that, no charge, just the cleaning. Rugs and runners in your house, same thing. And fine linen, tablecloths, you want them looking perfect for the holiday season? Young's Restoration Department, youngsdrycleaning.com. The best in the region. They've been at it 85 years, since 1940. It's obnoxious how long they've been at it. Consistent and doing a great job. youngsdrycleaning.com. Lane Kiffin, LSU gets their man, $13 million a year. So much for Jeff Landry and reeling in LSU's spending on a head football coach, huh? It's a $13 million a year deal, like $3 million more than Brian Kelly was making, and nearly as long. It's a 7-year deal. $91 million total. Kelly's was $100 million. Kelly's was 10 years. This is 7. Lane Kiffin's the second highest paid coach in the country, behind Kirby Smart. He wins a national title. It's automatic in his contract. He gets elevated to the highest paid coach in college football. I mean, there could be some crazy school that gives a coach 15, 16, 17 mil. Lane Kiffin wins a national title. He'd be making 17.1 million. Yeah, so much for Jeff Landry and reeling in LSU's spending on a head football coach. LSU gets their man, Lane Kiffin. What do you think? 766-9480. 766-9480. When you hire a coach like this and you're paying him $13 million a year with major incentives, like hundreds of thousands of dollars if you make the SEC title game, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you win it. I think there's like $3 million plus in incentives if he goes to the SEC title game, wins it, goes to the playoff, wins it all, national champs. He'll make like north of $16 million that year. No, when you're paying a coach that much money, when he's the second highest paid coach in the land, he's expected to win right away. Right away. Like it isn't a rebuilding of the program. Lane Kiffin's specialty at Ole Miss, and probably why he left Ole Miss ultimately. He could recruit pretty well, and then he used the transfer portal like a champion. At LSU, it's you're going to recruit like a champion and use the transfer portal just to supplement. That will come in time. Right now, you need the transfer portal like last year where you got to bring in a lot of players. Lane Kiffin has to do that. 9 wins next year minimum in this tenaciously tough SEC. Got a 12-game schedule. I think it's 9 SEC games starting next year. You got to go 9-3. You got to go like 7-2 at worst in SEC play. So right away, when you're Lane Kiffin and you come to LSU, hey, it's a step up from Ole Miss. You're exactly right, Coach. It's a step up from Ole Miss. And you're expected to win right away. Right away. Be a SEC contender next year. Be in the top 5 SEC teams of 16, the top 3rd next year, your first year at the helm. You better come in running fast because the expectations are ridiculously high. It's not a 1 or 2 year rebuild. It's win now, immediately, right away. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Let's do this thing. 766-9480. Happy LSU fans. Upset Tulane fans.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans in the palm of my hand.
Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Yeah, you right. Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx, our in-house sports expert, brought up a great point during the break. It's like, kind of a karma thing. LSU went and poached an SEC rival, a team they play annually that they've been playing since the 1890s on an annual basis, essentially. Went and poached their coach. Will it just end fine for LSU? No problem. That's 2025. That's what you do. Ole Miss is a lesser program. That's what happens. Yeah, Tuberville got poached to Auburn from Ole Miss. Ole Miss always loses their coach to somewhere else. Ole Miss is a stepping stone program if their coach is successful. So that can't be overlooked. I'm not sitting here going, you got to believe in karma and all that. But I think, what you put into life is what you get out of it. How you approach things in life, you're going to get that kind of outcome. And did LSU kind of go and poach the Ole Miss coach? And now, there's this expectation for Lane Kiffin just to kick butt, take names. I mean, Lane Kiffin not only has to win immediately, Lane Kiffin has to deliver a national championship in the next 3 or 4 years at worst. If Lane Kiffin isn't in the SEC title game, in the playoffs, like at least once over the next 3 seasons, it will be considered a failure. Like SEC title game, playoffs, you got to kind of do that. Like, I don't know what the expectation at LSU is going to be. Is it every other year? Is it 2 out of 3 years? Is it 3 out of 4? SEC title game and playoffs. If you're not making the SEC title game, you better be like Ole Miss this year, third, or A&M, and, in the playoffs. No, those are the expectations. Win right away. In the next 3 seasons, you better be in the SEC title game at least once. You better be in the playoffs at least once. And that might not be enough. You may have to go to the playoffs like 2 out of the next 3 seasons, or it's not success. You got to be in the top 4 or 5 of the 16-team SEC year in, year out. And I don't think that'll be acceptable a lot of seasons. Wow, LSU was 4th in the SEC, a second year in a row. We're 4th behind Georgia and Alabama and A&M or something, or Texas. People aren't going to accept that. Expectations are insanely high. Mario Brothers, am I saying something that's not true? I mean, the expectations for LSU football and Lane Kiffin as coach right now are the highest they've ever been in the history of LSU football.
Well, I think that's fair because it's a 12-team playoff now. You're asking to not even
You're right.
Not even a top 10 team every year. Just be a top 12 team most years. Like, that's a reasonable expectation.
And top 4 in the SEC.
Yeah. What'd you just say? Like 4 or 5. That's like barely past the middle of the pack SEC team. Those are very reasonable expectations.
And they're insanely high, and we're saying they're reasonable.
Yeah. If Lane were to stay at Ole Miss, that would probably be similar expectations there, right? I mean, they cracked through and made the playoffs this year.
I think if Lane Kiffin were to stay at Ole Miss, and I think the acknowledgement that we're not going to get great recruiting classes like top 5 every year just because of the competition.
Yes.
Just strictly because of the competition. And we have to supplement it through the transfer portal. There's going to be up and downs with that. That QB we brought in, maybe he's going to be Chambliss, maybe he's not going to be.
Yeah.
And then we're going to lose a few extra games because he wasn't what this guy was.
That's exactly right.
So I think it's maybe 1 out of every 3 at Ole Miss, you're a playoff team. I think it's like 2 out of 3 at LSU.
And even a state like Mississippi that doesn't have the best talent really embodies where LSU has the advantage over other SEC schools in that they don't have an in-state conference rival. Like, they're getting all the talent in Louisiana that wants to
They're
stay
getting
home.
all the talent in Louisiana, and they can go into Mississippi and get equal or better talent than Ole Miss in Mississippi.
That's what I'm saying. But
They can go get the great talent in Mississippi too.
even Mississippi State is a factor. Like, there are guys that just grew up like fans of Mississippi State.
Oh, no, of
that are
course,
gonna-
or Ole Miss or whatever. Yeah, no doubt. But I'm just saying LSU can go in and give an interest to those guys that want to go to State and Ole Miss and sway them to LSU.
Exactly.
Very hard for Mississippi State or Ole Miss to sway a guy from LSU to Ole Miss or Mississippi State.
Yeah.
It happens. And now you got a guy who knows the state of Mississippi backwards and forwards.
Exactly.
And he's about to know Louisiana backwards and forwards. Already knows Texas pretty well. That's only going to be enhanced. Already knows Florida, especially South Florida, very well. That's only going to be enhanced.
Yeah, the recruiting, even with Brian Kelly like half-assing the recruiting and not being effective there, they still got really good players. The roster management hasn't been the problem.
No, that was that. No, go ahead.
Hasn't been the problem so much as like the just actually being ready to play in big games.
Well, I think there was a little roster management problem with recruiting. Always a top 5, top 8 class, but not enough offensive and defensive linemen.
Not
Never.
perfect, not
Never.
perfect, but you still had 2 years or 3 years of Will Campbell and Jones.
Oh,
like,
no,
two,
no,
like,
there's
really
no
good,
doubt.
like-
There was some decent offensive linemen. There weren't enough defensive linemen.
Point
though,
being,
for sure.
the recruiting's going to be even better now under Kiffin, but I think like just the game-to-game management, like getting the team ready to play, that was not there under Kelly. That's why I came on this show before the year and predicted them to go 8-4. They
you
went
nailed it.
7-5.
No,
so
you nailed it.
close enough. But that's where I think Kiffin is a real upgrade to Kelly.
No doubt about that. Just the expectations are absurdly high at LSU now, the highest they've ever been in the history of the program. But if Brian Kelly can do what Nick Saban and Les Miles did consistently, there won't be any problems. But if he is like the tail end of Miles or, last few years of Ogeron, it's going to be a problem. Or Kelly. I mean, the reason Kelly's gone, it's simple. It was year 4. All the money spent, all the talk, the hype. They were supposed to be a playoff team. They go 10-2. They're a playoff team. Brian Kelly's still the coach in Baton Rouge. Year 4, no playoffs, no SEC title. Time to go. Simple as that. And then the record, losing the team, all these losses. No, ridiculously high expectations in Baton Rouge. Tulane loses Jon Sumrall to Florida. It's a 6-year deal, $45 million or $7.5 million a year. He's earning 2.5 times what he earned at Tulane. Tulane was ready to go to $4.5 million. I don't know if they would have gone much higher. Still, about $2.5 mil less than the $7.5 mil he'll be making in Gainesville. I believe Sumrall held an early AM practice, the usual, had a team meeting, got on a plane in Gainesville as we speak, about to jump back on a plane, fly back to New Orleans. So we'll be in Uptown tonight. This Friday night in Uptown, the American Athletic Championship game, 4th straight game for the Tulane Green Wave. They were in it the last 2 years of Willie Fritz, in it the first 2 and only years of Jon Sumrall. This Friday night, Uptown New Orleans, Yeoman Stadium, 20th ranked North Texas. They're 11-1. 21st ranked Tulane. They're 10-2. 7 p.m. ABC in Uptown. If Tulane wins, they're not only American Athletic champions, they're heading to the 12-team playoff. If Tulane wins, they're heading to the 12-team playoff. Pretty impressive. Roll Wave. Are you happy, LSU fans, getting your man, Lane Kiffin? 766-9480. Tulane fans, upset Jon Sumrall's leaving? 766-9480. Who are you thinking Tulane should hire as their next head football coach? 766-9480. Thanks so much for joining us on radio. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM every weekday afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock on radio. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. You can also check us out on radio, New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. Yeah, 2 choices on your radio dial on the FM side, 93.9, 107.9. We're on TV. Cox Channel 4 statewide, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and surrounding areas. We're on Charter, Spectrum Channel 333, Slidell, Covington, Mandeville. That's Trayen / Gallagher's 527 country. Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas. Yeah, on TV weekday afternoons. We're on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. We're on X live right now. On Twitter, on X. Follow me at Corey Johnson on X. After 6 o'clock, you can check out the program after the fact on X, on YouTube, and on Spotify, the podcast on Spotify. Plus, lots of little short clips just about every day on X, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. Corey Johnson, The Neutral Ground. Yeah, you right. Marshall Faulk, former New Orleans running back, got offered a scholarship to LSU to play defensive back, wanted to continue playing running back, went to San Diego State and just exploded on the college football scene. And then, of course, the National Football League, the Rams, Super Bowl champ, Marshall Faulk, Southern head football coach, heading to the Bluff in Baton Rouge. 2 new head football coaches in Baton Rouge. Lane Kiffin at LSU, Marshall Faulk at Southern. That's going to put a spotlight on the Southern campus, on the Southern Jag football team. A Hall of Famer in Marshall Faulk. Are you kidding me? Smart move, Southern. We'll see if he can coach and get it done on Dar Bluff up the I-110. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Yeah, get to Yeoman Stadium this Friday night. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. 30,000, hopefully sold out. A chance for Tulane to go to the 12-team playoff. Unbelievable. LSU's never done it. Tulane would be the first team in the state to go to the 12-team college football playoff. Amazing. Amazing. Lebanon's Cafe. I picked up a to-go order yesterday from Lebanon's. Pita bread, extra, always more than you need. Chicken shawarma, always more than you can eat. Tabbouleh, always a big portion. Fried football kibbe. Lamb chop, shish kebab, so good. They're open till 9:30 tonight. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton and Jeanette by the streetcar barn.
Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
Women are often throwing clothing items at me, saying you're the possessor of the cool factor. I have to fight off the ladies.
90 minutes of fun every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
Lane Kiffin is locked and loaded in Baton Rouge. He has officially signed that $13 million a year deal, that 7-year, $91 million contract. He's so locked and loaded in Baton Rouge that he attended a hot yoga class at 6:30 a.m. in Baton Rouge. That's already being reported, that Lane Kiffin went to yoga class already in Baton Rouge this morning. You know, Lane Kiffin quit drinking about 5 years ago. So a lot of the time when, you know, it's not like maybe he was like an alcoholic. Maybe it was too much of a problem. Maybe it wasn't, whatever. But you're trying to fill that void. And that's often the way you'll do it, like exercising or taking on some other activity. He is dedicated to it. He's relentless. Supposedly, like on road games, he's at that Oxford studio in the morning at 6 a.m. doing an hour of hot yoga and then gets on the plane with the team and flies to the road game on a Saturday. Sunday morning, he's back at that studio, back in Oxford. Already in Baton Rouge, already taking hot yoga class, already at the LSU football complex, already getting, acclimated with LSU. He is locked and loaded. He is there. He is the LSU football coach. He has nothing to do with Ole Miss football at all anymore. Now, Mario Brothers, it's not this Wednesday. It's next Wednesday's National Signing Day, or is it this Wednesday?
I think it's next Wednesday.
Jeez, and you're supposed to be the in-house sports expert.
Yeah, no, I've
What the hell?
graduated from following recruiting, man. That was
All right, we'll find out because it's important.
okay.
Because, if it's today or next Wednesday, whatever, you got to have a coach in place. And obviously, I saw Kiffin already with, who is it, Lamar Brown? Is that the player?
Yes.
The guy who can play offensive line or defensive line?
Yeah.
Number 1 recruit in America?
It says February 4th.
No, it's early December.
Okay. Let's see.
Come on, Mario. You're supposed to be the in-house sports expert. Should be able to ask you anything and you have the answers. Who won the 1936 World Series?
December 3rd through 5th. Was it the Yankees? I don't know.
Oh, boy. Maybe.
Yeah, 3rd through 5th. So I guess it's the 3rd is when you can start.
So that'd be Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Yeah. So he's already he's locked in. He's locked in. Jon Sumrall's in a slightly different position. I would imagine the hardcore Tulane fan, and it was funny, Lane Kiffin walking to the plane in Oxford to get on the plane to go to LSU. They were booing him yesterday. They had some high school, college kids, some fans that were on the chain link fence at the airport, booing and yelling at him, all kind of profanities and the like. That didn't happen with Jon Sumrall, but it did happen a little bit on Twitter, on X. Some hardcore Greenway fans were kind of complaining about Sumrall being allowed to coach the team still, and he's going to poach players and coaches that'll go to Florida with him, on and on and on. So I think Sumrall's an honorable guy. I think leave now, leave later, all that's going to happen anyway. Players that came to Tulane because of Jon Sumrall, not because of Tulane. They're going to go to Florida because of Jon Sumrall. Lane Kiffin's going to have Ole Miss players in the transfer portal. If you don't think LSU is going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe more Ole Miss players via the transfer portal that simply went to Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin, you're crazy.
Including the quarterback potentially.
Chambliss might come exactly to LSU.
The quarterback
all SEC QB
position is all of a sudden very murky. I mean, Nussmeier, I don't think has any eligibility.
No,
right?
Nussmeier's done.
So Van Buren looked terrible. Just I know circumstances were bad, but he did not play well. So yeah, why not bring on Chambliss?
No, exactly. So, I think Tulane fans should only be grateful to Jon Sumrall. He still has a love for the program. I mean, you heard the clip that I played earlier from the Florida Gators press conference. Hey, this is going to be quick. So glad to be here, but I got work to do still in New Orleans. I got to go back and coach my team. He is focused on coaching Tulane. He's seeing this thing out. It's his team. It's today. The Florida team, that's tomorrow. And I believe that with Jon Sumrall. Hopefully we're going to get him on the program tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm working on that. So, we'll get Jon Sumrall on and talk to him about all that good stuff. But Friday's as big as it gets. And yeah, if you're North Texas, I guess you're, happy like that Sumrall's going to Florida. It's a distraction. North Texas 11-1. They're focused exclusively on the American Athletic Championship game. Tulane's head coach and the players. There's a little bit of a distraction. But also that could be a motivational tool, like, kind of an adult lesson for these kids. Life is a bunch of chapters, right? When you think you're settling into one and you're happy, something happens and that chapter changes. You got to be quick. Change is inevitable. It's the one thing that's constantly happening. Next chapter. These Tulane guys get to finish up this chapter. And how is it going to finish up? With a championship trophy on Friday night and a playoff berth? Or distractions overwhelming this team and coach, and they lose Friday and no playoff berth? So the book is going on right now. Chapter whatever is going on right now. How will Tulane's coaches, how will Tulane players react to the distraction? Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latinx.
Just want to point out that North Texas is going through the same exact thing. There's a battle of two coaches that are leaving. Their coach is taking the job.
I thought the guy already left.
Yeah, no, I think he's still coaching a team, though, right?
I thought the guy left last year, and this is a first-year coach. No?
No, I'm pretty sure his name's like Eric Morris or something.
Wow, I looked that up just yesterday, just so I could babble what I just babbled. I thought the coach left last year. And the coach that's coaching right now is a first-year coach.
No, he's currently the coach at North Texas. He will become the head coach at Oklahoma State after the season.
Oh, so Oklahoma State hired the North Texas coach right now?
Yes.
Okay, no, never mind.
Yes.
So the last point, Mario Brothers, is totally moot. I swear I looked that up yesterday, and it said he was the coach that I thought it was a first-year coach at North Texas. No, you're probably right.
Yeah, either way, two teams that are in kind of a weird
No, never mind.
spot.
Last 2 minutes. How do we take that back?
I don't know. Either way, North Texas is favored in the game.
Well, they're both distracted.
Yeah.
It's not that Tulane isn't distracted.
Exactly.
But just my initial point that North Texas is enjoying this.
Yeah.
They're getting no advantage, obviously.
Exactly.
No, I swear I read it yesterday so I would know that. And I was like, wow, they have a first-year coach, and he went 11-1. It's not.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's all good.
And he's going to Okie State.
Yeah. But they're favored by 2.5. Tulane's an underdog, not by a lot. So
North Texas favored at Yeoman by 2.5.
That is
wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting as hell. That really is. Trying to look into that. North Texas favored by 2.5. I mean, Vegas likes North Texas in this game. It's on the road. You get 3 just being at Yeoman. They got neutral site, North Texas by 5.5. At North Texas, they'd be favored by a touchdown over the Wave. That's some blackboard, bulletin board material for Jon Sumrall. And that's Blue Boy barking up a storm, saying, stick around, New Orleans. 5 o'clock powwow coming your way. Brett Martell was in Baton Rouge today. He'll join us live in about 30 minutes to fill us in on all the Lane Kiffin details.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. Because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TF-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Oh, here we go. 5 o'clock powwow on a Monday afternoon. Let's do this thing. Corey Johnson back at you. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Gallagher's 527 Restaurant in Mandeville. Open Tuesday through Friday for lunch, Tuesday through Saturday night for dinner. That means they're not open tonight for dinner. But they'll be open tomorrow for lunch through Friday. They'll be open tomorrow through Saturday for dinner. So damn good. I love Gallagher's 527. I promise you, if you love great food, you love dining in New Orleans, you'll love Gallagher's 527 too. Do not let the Mandeville location discourage you from going. It's right across the causeway. There's no driving on the North Shore. From Lakeside Shopping Center to the front door of Gallagher's, 25 minutes. Right when you cross the bridge, immediately behind that Shell station, right there on your right, wonderful Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Gallagher's 527. LSU gets Lane Kiffin. It's official. He has signed the deal. A 7-year, $91 million deal with incentives. He'll earn $13 million a year in base salary. He could earn an additional $3 million plus if he hits all the incentives, like making the SEC title game, winning it, making the playoffs, which would be obvious, and then winning it. $3 million plus. He could earn over $16 million a year. And if he wins the national title, he automatically becomes the highest paid coach in college football. Right now, he's the second highest paid coach, only behind Kirby Smart by maybe a couple of $100,000. $13 million a year, a 7-year, $91 million deal. LSU wanted Lane Kiffin so bad, they're paying $5 million to Ole Miss for a buyout, and they're paying Ole Miss's incentives. Not that Ole Miss is on the hook for him anymore. Lane Kiffin left. But Lane Kiffin and his agent were like, no matter what Ole Miss does, the team we built, my incentives from the Ole Miss contract on this year's team, you pay them to me. Like hosting a national a playoff game, which is most likely for Ole Miss. He'll get $150,000 from LSU because that was part of the Ole Miss contract. They win the national title. I think he'd get $1 million from Ole Miss. LSU will pay him the $1 million. So Lane Kiffin and his agent, Jimmy Sexton, working every angle with LSU, and LSU saying yes. LSU gets their man. So much for Governor Jeff Landry and his reeling in LSU spending on a head football coach. He said a 10-year, $100 million contract averaging $10 million a season was ridiculous. So they shortened it from 10 to 7 and upped the annual from 10 to 13. So I don't see how Jeff Landry reeled in LSU's football spending on a coach. Anyway, LSU gets their guy Lane Kiffin. He is in Baton Rouge. He's done with Ole Miss and Oxford. He may go back in a few days, a few weeks to get some things. Maybe not. Someone may pack it all up for him. He was at a 6:30 a.m. Pilates class or hot yoga / Pilates class this morning in Baton Rouge. Already found that. Like, hey, it's really important. I go every morning in Oxford. Where's the place in Baton Rouge I need to go? They found the place, some place, Perkins and Acadian or something. And he's at the yoga studio at 6:30 in Baton Rouge. So he's at the football facility. He's the head coach. He's moving in his office. Wednesday is early National Signing Day. He's solidifying the recruiting class. He's probably going to get some, get a player or two that was maybe going to Ole Miss, coming to LSU all of a sudden. So Lane Kiffin is signed, sealed, and delivered in Baton Rouge, working, not going back and forth. Tulane loses Jon Sumrall over the weekend to Florida. He was introduced today in Gainesville. Jon Sumrall ran in Audubon Park this morning, coached the Tulane football team at an early morning practice, addressed the Tulane football team after that practice about the Florida gig, got on a plane, flew to Gainesville, introductory press conference in Gainesville, introduced as the new head coach, flying back tonight. Sumrall's deal, 6 years, $45 million, $7.5 million a year, or 2.5 times more than the $3 million he was earning at Tulane. Reports were Tulane was ready to go to about $4.5 million annually to Jon Sumrall. This Friday night, the American Athletic Championship game, Uptown New Orleans, Yeoman Stadium. Number 20, North Texas. They're 11-1. They're favored by 2.5 on the road, taking on number 21, Tulane. The Waves 10-2. 7 o'clock this Friday night on ABC. If Tulane wins, they're heading to the 12-team college football playoff. The single most important college football game in Tulane football history is this Friday night at home in Uptown. Be in that number. By the way, it's the 4th straight conference championship game for the Wave. Pretty amazing. Big weekend. Tulane loses Jon Sumrall to Florida. LSU gets Lane Kiffin. Here's Lane Kiffin earlier today in Baton Rouge at the introductory press conference.
Someone very close to me reminded me this week in this decision that LSU is the best job in football. When you take the history, tradition, passion, and the great players in the state of Louisiana, no one can argue that when you're in Tiger Stadium on Saturday night, there is nothing like it. And this place is built for championships with championship expectations. We understand that. But as an elite competitor, that's exactly what you want. And that's why we're here.
All right. He says he's an elite competitor. He is in Baton Rouge. He is the LSU Tiger football coach. And expectations are immediate. Like, Lane Kiffin has to win next year. I'm not saying go to the SEC title game or go to the playoffs, but next year, LSU, like at worst, 9-3, like it's a 9-team SEC schedule, 6-3, 7-2 at worst in SEC play, 9-3 at worst, ideally like 10-2. So expectations are insanely high for Lane Kiffin, for LSU football, for LSU fans. In the first 2 or 3 years of the Lane Kiffin era, an SEC title game and a playoff berth is a must in the first 2 or 3 years. And then I would think after that, probably every 2 out of 3, you got to be in the playoffs. Every 2 out of 3 years, you got to be in the playoffs. And I would say, like, Almost every 2 out of 3, like 1 out of 3, you got to be in the SEC title game. So if you're missing the SEC title game one year, you're still going to the playoffs as like the 3rd or 4th SEC team. So top 4 in a 16-team SEC. You got to be top 4. You got to be top 25% of the SEC year in, year out. Top 4 teams year in, year out. Sometimes be top 2 going to the SEC title game. Sometimes winning it and making the playoffs, I would say 2 out of every 3 years. If you're Lane Kiffin and LSU, those are the expectations. And there's no rebuilding. Use the Ole Miss model for year 1 at LSU. You got a good recruiting class, probably better than any recruiting class you'll ever get at Ole Miss. But then what you did at Ole Miss year in, year out, supplementing it with the transfer portal. Brian Kelly did it in year 4 this year, which is sort of embarrassing. It's like by year 4, you should have your regular recruiting classes so solid that all you're doing with their transfer portal is supplementing a player or 2, not 6 or 7 starters like Kelly had to do. And then, he didn't win, so he's gone. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss was doing this year in, year out. Ole Miss limited on what they can do recruiting-wise. They're going to get a solid class, and Lane Kiffin always got good classes. And then he really kicked butt in the transfer portal. Year 1 in Baton Rouge, you're going to have a better than you normally get recruiting class, and you still have to go kick butt in the transfer portal because you have to get this team back to being good quickly. Year 2, year 3, year 4, you better start kicking butt in recruiting every year, like top 3, top 4, 5 recruiting class in America, year in, year out. And then it all takes care of itself. Look at the top recruiting classes every year, and then look at the results. It's always Georgia and Alabama, Ohio State, year in, year out. So it all correlates. Starts with recruiting in Baton Rouge. One of the reasons he took the LSU gig, because you can recruit in Baton Rouge where you're limited recruiting at Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin at LSU arguably could recruit Mississippi better, could recruit the state of Mississippi better as the LSU head football coach than being the head football coach at Ole Miss. When I'm talking about the elite talent in Mississippi, top 5 players in the state. Probably has a better chance of recruiting him as the LSU head coach than the Ole Miss head coach. Hey, Audubon Gutters, put gutters on my house. We got a lot of rain coming over the next week and a half. Now's the time. Knock it out. Audubon Gutters, 35 years in New Orleans. All they do are gutters. They don't do paint or roofs or siding or windows, any construction. They do gutters and gutters only. And they feature the leaf guard system. It's not a screen or cover on top of your gutter. It's a one-piece, seamless, debris-shedding gutter, the only one on the market. Audubon Gutters, New Orleans own. You need gutters for your home or business? AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Artificial turf custom golf putting green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Not an FM disc jockey, not a former politician, Corey Johnson.
You're not the DJ. You're a raconteur. You're a storyteller. You're a griot.
It's true. Kiefer and Kiefer, a New Orleans law firm for decades, committed to their clients. The doctors they recommend are the doctors they use. The doctors they themselves and their family use. Helping people that are in need. Kiefer and Kiefer Law. Check them out online, kieferandkiefer.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon, a post-Thanksgiving Monday. A lot of bloat going on right now in Metro New Orleans, huh? Bloated, chunky, gushy, fat. I know, abused things the last 4 or 5 days. Everybody did. Stay away from the scale for a few days. That would be my advice. Maybe you'll shed the few pounds you gained over the last 4 days. No, I ate a lot of crap. I ate a lot of good stuff. But I ate too much good stuff, even healthy stuff, and then I ate crap like M&Ms and popcorn, and I even got a cereal. I don't even eat processed crap. I went and got milk, cereal, and sugar. Had some Cheerios. Ridiculous. Now it's December, a new month, final month of 2025. Time to get back on the, schedule. Get the process working again. Hey, Brett Martell's going to join us in about 15 minutes. He was in Baton Rouge today, checking out new LSU head football coach Lane Kiffin, he's in Baton Rouge. Lane Kiffin is there. He's locked and loaded. He's the LSU football coach full-time. He's there. Signed the contract, working in his office, working at the football operations center, talking to recruits, taking pictures with recruits. Mario, he's so fresh, he doesn't have the L right. You saw that? He's just like pointing at him like this.
Yeah, like he's got like the finger gun at him.
But he's like pointing the finger at him, and the players are got, they got the L up for LSU.
Yes.
So he's working on that still. I doubt he's going to be doing the discotheque light thing with the spinning floor thing that Brian Kelly did.
Yeah, I don't
he's
think
that's happening.
Do that either.
I don't think that's happening. But he already attended a 6:30 Pilates hot yoga class. He had been doing that in Oxford every morning at 6 a.m. He found a place in Baton Rouge already. Was there this morning at 6:30 a.m. So Lane Kiffin is locked in Baton Rouge. Wednesday is the early signing day period. I think LSU has lost one recruit out of their class, a top 10 class. They've lost 1 recruit since firing Brian Kelly. That's pretty strong, retaining all those players. I'm sure Lane Kiffin's going to have a couple of players that were committed to LSU, to Ole Miss, that'll sign with LSU because it's 2025. A lot of players commit to a coach. LSU is a program where players commit to the program. The expectations in Baton Rouge have never been higher for football in the history of the program. LSU feels they hired the best coach in college football, maybe, to Kirby Smart at Georgia. And they're paying him as much. Second highest paid coach in the country to Kirby Smart at Georgia. The expectations are real and the expectations are immediate. There's no rebuild. There's a reload, but there's no rebuild. There's no, hey, you can go 8-4 next year. It's okay. Lane Kiffin has to go like 9-3, 10-2 next year. First year as coach, 9-3, 10-2 in the ridiculously tough SEC with a lot of great teams now, with a lot of great coaches. LSU right now is in the bottom half of the 16-team SEC. They need to ascend from bottom 50% to top 25% in the SEC, like top 4. Year in, year out, including year 1. You want to know what'll be acceptable for Lane Kiffin in year 1 next year? LSU finishing 4th in the SEC. Maybe 5th. If you're 5th and you barely miss the playoffs, you're like 9-3, 10-2. I don't think too many people are complaining. But that's the only break you're getting. Immediately winning year 1, and then like every 2 out of 3 years, making the playoffs, or it's failure, like every 2 out of 3 years, making the playoffs. I would say every 1 out of 3 years, winning the Southeastern Conference Championship. So Lane Kiffin, LSU expectations at an historic high. You have to win. You got to win big, and you got to do it immediately. No rebuild, no time. LSU gets their coach over the weekend. Tulane loses theirs. Jon Sumrall to Florida, a 6-year deal worth $45 million, $7.5 million annually, about 2.5 times what he's making at Tulane right now. From $3 million a year to north of $7.5 million. Mario Brothers, Jon Sumrall's making $250,000 every month at Tulane. $250,000 a month at Tulane. He's going to be making about $600,000 a month at Florida. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Crazy. Lots of money a month.
Yes.
From $250,000, $250,000 a month, to maybe about $625 a month at Florida.
Yeah, a lot of hours. I wonder how that breaks down by the hour.
It's about $1,000, and if you work a 10-hour day, it's more than that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like 13 to 15.
Say it's a 15-hour. He's making about $750 an hour, $750 every hour he's awake.
Dang. Okay.
$750.
You broke it down already. All right.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, we can figure it out if you want.
Okay.
Let's see. He's making Mario's making $7.5 million a year at Florida. So that's with 12 months. What's that? That's what are you shaking your head?
Don't make me do math, especially on a Monday.
It's about, like I said, about $625 a month. And that's about $22,000 a day. So yeah, I was awful, but yeah, at Florida he's making about $1,500 an hour.
Jeez.
For the hours he's awake.
Yes, exactly.
For the hours awake, he's making almost $1,000 an hour even when sleeping at Florida.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal, man.
Nope.
Wow.
Lane Kiffin, $13 million a year over 7 years, $91 million total. So much for Jeff Landry and reeling in LSU's spending on a head football coach. Sorry, Governor. That's just how it is. LSU gets Lane Kiffin. Tulane loses Jon Sumrall. What do you think? 766-9480. Happy LSU fans? Bummed out Green Wave fans? I'll tell you one thing, Green Wave fans, that's a big positive. Tulane's like a coveted position, like the head football coaching job, a coveted position. Young, up-and-coming coaches from smaller programs want to be the head coach at Tulane, to do a Jon Sumrall, to do a Willie Fritz, to use it as a pole vault to the Power 4 schools. Fritz at Houston, Jon Sumrall's now going to coach the Florida Gators. I mean, Jon Sumrall was making like $700,000 a year 2.5 years ago at Troy, about $800,000 a year at Troy. Now he's going to be making 10 times that amount. Just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. 766-9480. Oh, boy. Some good news, New Orleans. You know, I was mentioning last week as we headed into Thanksgiving week, you know, Helena Moreno, mayor-elect. Thank God she's the council vice president, and J.P. Morrell, the council president. They're on the same page. They're basically governing right now. The mayor-elect is basically the governor. And I was like, I'm not complaining. Be thankful. Thanksgiving week. We don't have to hear from Junkie Cantrell. She's MIA, the indicted mayor. It's a blessing. Very thankful we don't have to hear from Junkie Cantrell. Well, she was heard a little bit today at the council chamber, a budget hearing, basically just being belligerent. But from happy Thanksgiving, I'm very thankful that the mayor's MIA, to today, even with her rearing her head at the city council meeting, it's a happy holiday situation. 36 days left of Junket Cantrell. 6 weeks from today, we'll have a new mayor. And 5 weeks from today, we'll have a new mayor. 5 weeks from today, Helena Moreno will be sworn in as mayor of City of New Orleans in 5 weeks. 36 days left of Junket Cantrell. Happy holidays. Yeah, you right. That's a huge positive. Thank goodness. Boy, we're not hitting 70 degrees for the foreseeable future. We're going to wake up to lots of high 40s, low 50s for the next week, week and a half straight. And we're going to mostly be in the 50s, creeping into the low 60s at best. So high 40s, lots of 50s, high temperatures in the low 60s at best, nowhere near 70. Means you're going to be running heat. Just a few days ago, you were running air conditioning. Now it's going to be heat. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, if you need air conditioning or heat help, think Total Maintenance. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, incapable of screwing you around, diagnosing it right away, and coming right away. A sense of urgency because your AC or heat's not working right. For most of us watching and listening to the program, we're not going to need AC or heat help. Some of you are going to need air conditioning or heat help in the next few days, in the next few weeks. Weekday, weekend, overnight, or holiday, Total Maintenance is there in New Orleans or Baton Rouge. If you need air conditioning or heat help, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. Lane Kiffin, already locked and loaded, signed, sealed, and delivered in Baton Rouge. Doesn't even need to go back to Oxford. He might, but may not. May just get people to pack it and bring it down. Went to a Pilates hot yoga class this morning in Baton Rouge. Already found that niche. He did it every day, every morning, without fail, in Oxford at 6 a.m. He found the LSU spot. He's moved into his office. He's at the Football Operations Center. He's getting ready for Wednesday's early National Signing Day. The LSU coach is focused, and he needs to be. He talked about being an elite competitor, and this is the best job in America. Tiger Stadium special. I'm glad he thinks that way because the expectations are to win and to win immediately. No waiting.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Katie's in Mid-City tonight for dinner. New Orleans specialties, Monday Night Football on the flat screen TVs. A taste of New Orleans, big portions, great for sharing. What a great place to bring friends and family coming in for the holidays from out of town. A true taste of New Orleans as it gets. Katie's in Mid-City tonight for dinner. LSU gets their man, Lane Kiffin, head football coach, Louisiana State University. Tulane loses Jon Sumrall to Florida. Both had their introductory press conferences today. Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge and Jon Sumrall in Gainesville. Coached the Tulane, ran in Audubon Park this morning, coached the Tulane Green Wave team at practice this morning, had a team meeting, flew to Gainesville, introductory press conference, flying back tonight in Uptown, getting ready for Friday night's championship game. It is Monday, 5 o'clock powwow, a Martell Monday. Brett Martell, nearly 30 years with the Associated Press, joins us on the program. Hey, Brett, are you still in Baton Rouge or have made it back to New Orleans?
Oh, I'm still in Tiger Stadium staring at the giant video board with Lane Kiffin's face on it. Yeah, they set up some work tables up here so we could work here until 7. The conference ran long because Lane is a man of many words, and he was late getting here. So yeah, there's plenty to write about. But essentially, the gist of it was that he said it was really hard to leave Oxford. It was the best 6 years of his life, but that he believed that he would always regret it if he didn't take a chance, didn't seize the opportunity to come to a place that he's always really admired from afar. Obviously, he's tight with Ed Ogeron. And, he said he called Ed Ogeron when he first drove by Tiger Stadium. And he said, I don't know why, but I have this feeling coming over me that I want to start talking like you. And he wanted to roll down the windows and make a low raspy voice and yell, "Go Tigers," at everybody he saw on the street. So, he was always obviously very emotional, and said it was really an excruciating and difficult decision to leave Ole Miss, but that he just believed that he needed to give it a try at a place that he's always admired, that he always admired when he was a visiting coach. He thought Tiger Stadium was the most amazing road environment of any place he'd ever been in the NFL or in college. And he wanted to know what it felt like to have all of that intensity. He called it feels like a weight when the crowd is really intense in crunch time at the end of a game. It feels like a weight on the whole visiting sideline. He said he wanted to know what it felt like on the other sideline.
Nice. Brett Martell's with us live from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. Lane Kiffin introduced as the new LSU head football coach just a little while ago. How large was the national media contingency, Brett?
It wasn't that big, but there are definitely a few guys here. Nowadays, obviously, the affiliates can give the national networks all the video they need. They just weren't able to be here and ask questions. Because it's hard. He didn't get here until late last night, and then less than 24 hours later, they're having this press conference that was scheduled for 3:30 in the afternoon. It didn't really start till closer to 4. And it was, but it was a big crowd of the board of supervisors, dignitaries, boosters, LSU athletics personnel, the president, the new president of LSU, lots of people. So it was, they had it in the South Stadium Club, kind of overlooking, the South end zone and looking out at the big video board where it says, Lane Kiffin, and has his picture on it. So, it was quite the event.
Any particular question or comment that stood out?
Well, he just, it was, he's the hardest thing about covering him, because I've had to cover him in the past, is whittling down all of his great quotes to what fits in an article. And but he mentioned, obviously, his reasons for wanting to come to LSU. He mentioned how difficult it was to leave Oxford, not just the emotions of it and leaving his players, but the angry fans that he ran into on the way to the airport, and how unsettling it was to have people, kind of blocking the road and, gesticulating at him, middle fingers and yelling, cursing at him and all that stuff. And he had a son in the car, and he said it was hard because he totally understood where they were coming from, and that he understood. And in a way, he was flattered by it, because he said, I don't think when coaches don't do well and get fired, I don't think people are waiting for them at the airport to curse them out for leaving. So, that I guess that kind of stood out to me. But other than that, it's just that he believed that LSU was the best job in football, that he couldn't pass it up, that he was way more concerned about the NIL money than his own salary, that he didn't even want to know what his own salary was. And that, he thinks that Louisiana has a tremendous football culture, and that LSU has the LSU fan base is tremendous, and the Tiger Stadium is amazing. And he just, he thought it has everything that he would need to try to be the first coach, I guess, in LSU history to win more than one national title. He didn't say that, but he will be he's going to, obviously going to try to do that. No one's ever done that before. All 4 of them were, 4 different coaches won one.
Brett Martell's with us live from Tiger Stadium. A little while ago, Lane Kiffin introduced as the new LSU head football coach. Brett, expectations are sky high. He had to be asked about that. What was his answer? It's win immediately. I'm not saying you got to go to the playoff in year 1, or you got to go to the SEC title game in year 1, but you have to win immediately. You got to win like 9 or 10 games right out the gate. There's no rebuilding, right?
I suspect so. I mean, he said he's extremely confident in the transfer portal. He said, when I looked at how players wanted to play for me at Ole Miss, he's like, and then I look at this stadium and these colors and that logo and this brand combined with, the enthusiasm that players showed to coming to Ole Miss when I was coaching there and playing in our system. He said, when you combine all those things, and then all the other advantages with the stadium and the fans and everything else, he's like, he feels very, very confident. Obviously he would, he exuded confidence. He didn't, people talk about, playing for championships all the time, right? I mean, Gail Benson talks about the Pelicans and the Saints playing for championships, and those words obviously ring hollow when you don't. He didn't really talk about playing for championships. He just talked about what to him is evidence of how successful he feels like he can be here based on his recent past at Ole Miss and how he has been able to adapt to the current landscape of college football.
Brett, the LSU recruiting class, I think, pretty intact. I think one player lost since Brian Kelly fired. It's like a top 10 class by most folks. I figure he's going to retain that. And I wouldn't be shocked, Brett, if a few Ole Miss commitments flip over to LSU on Wednesday.
It's possible. It's possible. They have a special team in Ole Miss, and they do love the new coach. He's a very popular guy there, Pete Golding, who's actually a Louisiana native of Hammond, and coached briefly at Southeastern. So if they have some special success in the playoffs under Golding, and they have that bond that they've had all season, that's a big pull. But you got to imagine that there may be some kids who feel like they want to know what it's like they've done the Ole Miss thing.
Yeah,
everyone's a free agent every year now.
Yep.
They may think, well, I've done the Ole Miss thing. I want to see what it's like at LSU, especially with him coaching there.
Well, you always get a lot of players that, like Saban said, they're like your second team players, and they feel they could be starters, so they enter the transfer portal. I think not only are you going to have some on Wednesday, National Early Signing Day, you're going to have some people right now that are committed to Ole Miss, 2 or 3 that'll end up going to LSU because they sign with Kiffin more than Ole Miss. And then I think the transfer portal, you're going to see some players from Ole Miss come to LSU because they want to be with Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, he's going to end up having to probably turn some people down. Here's the thing, look, from the adult kind of administrative perspective, right? Lane Kiffin is problematic because of his history. But from the player perspective and from the fan perspective, the young person's perspective, maybe, I think he's very attractive as a coach. And he exudes confidence in winning, and he has one, and also excitement, and aggression, in the style of his offense and the fits that it gives defenses. And so, look, when I would go around the Saints locker room, and you had one player that played before it at Florida, Jonathan, defensive lineman. I can't remember his last name. And then you had Devon Godshaw, who played at LSU, obviously. Those two guys, as soon as there were openings at Florida and LSU, those guys, they're both defensive linemen, so they sit next to each other in the locker room, and they were both saying to me how badly they wanted to see Lane Kiffin come to LSU, which is a sign that, players really, even at the NFL level, really believe in that guy. They believe in the energy that he brings and the excitement he brings to a program. So if NFL players are talking like that, then what college kids and high school recruits are thinking.
If Lane Kiffin got Ole Miss to 55-19 the last 5-6 seasons, 55-19, only Georgia and Alabama had more wins. At LSU, it just seems like the expectation is going to be even higher. If he got Ole Miss to 55-19, it's like 65-9 for LSU. If he had that kind of success at Ole Miss, he should even have more success at LSU. Is that logical?
Well, one thing that'll be interesting is that, there were a lot of reports of how Scott Woodward used to always meet with Brian Kelly and try to have a close relationship with him while he was here. Kiffin said that one of the things he liked best about his meeting with Verge when they discussed the job But the bird said, I'm going to give you what you need to win, and I'm going to leave you alone and let you coach. And Kiffin said he liked hearing that. So I think it's interesting that, we administration here, and they're basically just going to let Lane be Lane and do it the way he wants to do it.
Yeah, why would you interfere or micromanage that? Why would you interfere and micromanage that? Hey, Brett, can you hang on for a few more minutes?
I'm on deadline, so I've got to run. But
no, take off. We'll do it. We'll do it next Monday and talk a little Tulane then. That's Brett Martell from the Associated Press. Check out his stuff via the AP. Thank you so much, Brett, joining us live from Tiger Stadium. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Don't go anywhere, New Orleans. We got more coming your way next.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Artificial turf custom golf putting green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Thoughtful conversation, common sense. Corey Johnson.
With all due respect, Mr. Dennis, I had no idea you'd gotten experimental surgery to have your removed.
Live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
What was that? Well, I said with all due respect.
Ladies, you want the ultimate Christmas present for your husband, for your significant other? How about a chipping and putting green in your backyard? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make that happen for Christmas. Are you kidding me? I got a chipping and putting green installed in my backyard about 6 weeks ago from LGD Lawn and Landscapes. I absolutely love it. They did it in about a day and a half. I mean, it really was one day. Came about mid-morning. They were done by the next morning. NOLALGD.com. Go to their website. Check out all the installations all over Metro New Orleans. Get an absolutely free estimate on the installation of artificial turf, synthetic turf in your backyard, including chipping and putting greens for your golf enthusiast in the family. NOLALGD.com is the website. Yeah, LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen for Christmas. NOLALGD.com. NOLALGD.com. I love my artificial green in my backyard. I mean, I'm pinching myself. I just spend about, 5, 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes a day back there, chip a little bit, putt a little bit, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, go back in the house. A few hours later, might do it. Tonight, I'll probably go back there and putt for about 5 or 10 minutes. Over a week, I put in like an hour of practice. I never practice my short game like that. Has to give me some good results after doing it for a while. Fired up. Happy holidays. Post-Thanksgiving Monday program. I don't know if you're like me, you're a little bloated and fat and chunky and gushy. You can't help it. We're in New Orleans. Hard to stay disciplined when it is a food holiday like Thanksgiving, especially in New Orleans. It's more than turkey. It's oyster dressing and dirty rice and sweet potato casserole, all kind of goodies, baked macaroni, probably some, gumbo or jambalaya or crawfish etouffee or shrimp creole, some other good local delicacies, especially the seafood goodies. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. This Friday night, the American Athletic Championship game in Uptown New Orleans at Yulman. Number 20, North Texas. The Mean Greens, 11-1. Number 21, Tulane. The Green Wave, 10-2. 7 o'clock Friday night from Uptown New Orleans. Nationwide television audience. 7 o'clock on ABC. Gotta love that. The 4th straight conference championship game for the Wave. Last 2 under Willie Fritz, the 2 and only seasons under Jon Sumrall. If Tulane wins, they're not only American Athletic Conference champions, they're going to the 12-team college football playoff. Friday night in Uptown, the single most historically significant football game for Tulane football. The most significant, most important football game in the history of Tulane football is this Friday night. The Wave wins. They're in the college football friggin' playoff. Are you kidding me? Jon Sumrall will coach the team. If they win and make the playoffs, he'll continue to coach the team. Ole Miss decided that Lane Kiffin's out. He's fully in as LSU's coach. Went to Pilates, hot yoga this morning in Baton Rouge. He's at the office. He's at the football operations center. He's securing recruits for, this Wednesday's National Recruiting Early Signing Day. Different school, different scenario, different everything. Jon Sumrall was introduced in Gainesville today as the new Florida Gators head football coach. He's also the Tulane head football coach. He's got 2 jobs at one time. He thanked Florida for allowing him to go back to New Orleans and coach his Tulane football team. Are there distractions? No doubt. North Texas's head coach is going to be the head coach at Oklahoma State. So the distractions are on both sides. Is it ideal? No. But it is the situation at hand, and that's what's going down. I would prefer Jon Sumrall to continue coaching Tulane. Unlike Ole Miss, where they made their offensive coordinator the permanent head coach, not interim. There's no search. The offensive coordinator is the new head coach. Tulane's doing a nationwide search. So having Jon Sumrall coach his team with his players this Friday night is huge. If Tulane wins, they go to the college football playoff. You want Jon Sumrall coaching that team. I have no problem with that. I saw on Twitter, on social media, some Tulane fans upset about it. Sumrall should be gone. Sumrall shouldn't be coaching this team. I disagree. The single most important football game in Tulane football history is this Friday night. And it's at home at Yeoman, New Orleans. Get to that game already. Sell this place out. Boy, Tulane wins. They go to the college football playoffs. I mean, first team in Louisiana to do that, beating LSU. It's crazy. Hey, speaking of crazy in a good way, I mentioned last week with Thanksgiving that, Helena Moreno and the council kind of taking over the mayor's role and doing everything, getting the city ready for, when Helena Moreno next month becomes mayor officially. It's like Junket Cantrell missing in action. Thank goodness. Something to be thankful for. This was last week, Thanksgiving week. Something to be thankful for. LaToya Cantrell, MIA. Missing in action, literally. Today, she appeared at the city council complaining and pointing fingers, the budget for 2026. The council passed it in spite of Cantrell not signing off on it. Now, then I thought about we're in December. It's December 1st. It's holiday season. You got Hanukkah and Christmas coming up, all that good stuff. Non-believers, it's still holiday season, December, that feeling. I was like, happy holidays. 36 days. 36 days. 5 weeks left of Junket Cantrell. That is a happy holiday thought, isn't it? 5 short weeks left, 36 days. Those few grains of sand dropping through the hourglass, her 15 minutes of fame finally coming to an end. Thank God. Long overdue. Thank goodness. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, on Twitter. Brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra. Home of the big store, Lamarck Ford, for over 45 years. Home of Lamarck Lincoln, the #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. Across the parish in Elmwood, Lamarck Crescent City Ford, your commercial truck, van, SUV dealer. Every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. What's that, Blue Boy? If you're looking for an F-150, an Explorer, a Mustang, any Ford vehicle, Lincoln vehicle, why would you go anywhere else? You're right, Blue Boy. Doesn't make sense. Go check out Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park. Thank you, Mario Brothers, a.k.a. Latin X. We'll see you mañana, 4 o'clock, right here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.